Welcome to MCN. I'm Products Editor Justin Hayzelden, and this is the kit list. In this episode, I've been joined on the sofa by news editor Dan Sutherland.
All right, how are you doing?
I'm good, Dan. How are you?
Yeah, very well.
Excellent.
Very well.
What have you brought along for us today?
It's a collection of sort of practical and sort of track-focused items that hopefully people will find interesting.
Sounds brilliant. So, what's first up?
These are my RST TrackTech Evo 4 gloves. Some of the most comfortable sporty gloves I've ever used. You can sometimes find that a sporty glove's was struggling to meet the end of your sleeve, basically. Whereas these, I've never had a problem with that. And I also think that the sort of the solid white means that they kind of go with most things as well. It's all about looking cool, isn't it? You know, they are a little bit rough around the edges. They're a bit frayed, but you know, I've done three 24-hour endurance races in these gloves. I've used them for summer rides for plenty of seasons, multiple track days, some club racing. So I've probably done like 20,000 miles in these.
Really?
And, you know, they're still in one piece. The only downside to these is the black palms. When it rains hard or you get sweaty palms, which I do when I'm sort of racing and stuff like that on track days, you do end up with a black palm. I kind of overlook it because they're quite good value for money. Safety rating's quite good as well. And I think they look the part too. Okay, so from sort of relatively affordable gloves, we've gone to Shoei's top of the range SPR Pro. It's Shoei's FIM approved helmet. This is what Marc Marquez uses. This is what you see the guys in BSB, WSB, MotoGP wearing. This is one of the most comfortable sports helmets I've ever used. It's quite expensive, you know, even in sort of plain white. I think it's worth the money because not only is it good on circuit, it's thoroughly civilized on a daily basis as well.
Right.
You know, it's quiet and it's comfy. You know, the lining is really, really plush in there. It does the job for the FIM, but it doesn't look like a sort of speed cycling helmet or something out of Star Wars. Yeah. It just looks like a sort of quite a civilized crash helmet. This actually as well, whilst it's clear now, is a transitions visor, which is an optional extra, but one that's well worth getting. I would say I haven't got a black visor for this because basically you just leave this in the sunshine and 30 seconds later it's got dark. And likewise, when it gets darker, it gets clearer. So it's a real game changer if, you know, you're always carrying a sort of visor pouch or something like that. And yeah, I mean, it's not something that I've used before, but it just really, I guess, ups the practicality. But definitely worth investing in that if you can. Yeah, so from sort of 700 quid helmets to a waterproof jacket that I bought in a BSB bargain bin for a tenner, it's, you know, it is nothing to look at. It just looks like an old waterproof jacket. This rolls up really, really tight, as would any waterproof. So I just stuff it in the bottom of the bag for if it rains. If just putting an oversized raincoat on can, you know, really work wonders. But in the wintertime, I also wear this as an overlayer over my textile jacket, just as essentially as a windbreaker. So this jacket must have done well in excess of 100,000 miles. I just wanted to bring it in as, you know, just to show that to have the best in something, or have something that's genuinely useful in your riding wardrobe, it doesn't have to cost the earth. It's not fashionable and it flaps around and you look stupid when you're wearing it, but you know, you've got the smug look on your face inside your crash helmet because you're warm and dry. So obviously I just talked about having that jacket in my in my bag. This is the bag. Here it is. So this is my Kriega R30. I bought my R30 with my student finance payment because they're not cheap, but they're really quality item. You know, all of this 30 litres of capacity in here is waterproof, and there's a nice roll top as well rather than a zip, which I like. Yeah. And I just like how sturdy it is and how rugged it is, and kind of feels like it would stand the test of time. You know, I use this for commuting year round. I should admit that this is my second one. So around about a year ago, after all those years of swinging it onto my shoulder, the right shoulder strap just gave up. I took it back to the guys that I bought it from, Sports Bike Shop. They told me it was the first one they'd ever had come back for a return. And sure enough, Kriega replaced it. But the real sort of winner for these that sets it apart from other bags is this fastening system. So obviously it sort of clasps in place like that. And it just kind of takes the weight of the bag off your shoulders. So this is sort of on your chest. and then that kind of just takes the strain off of your shoulders and your collarbones and stuff like that. And you know, you can get an awful lot of stuff in here, and I've gone away for weekends, you know, just wearing this on my back.
Yeah.
And having this strap system means that you don't get to the other end and you've got serious back pain and stuff like that. And it's been comfortable to wear as a motorcycle rucksack for motorcycling.
Yeah.
I think it's the best one I've tried. Yeah, so these are my Day and Easy DWP Nexus boots. These are kind of my favourite boots for year-round commuting. I don't like wearing boring biking boots, to be honest. So it's kind of, I know it sounds silly, but I really like a toe slider. Even if I'm not getting my toes down, I just like the look. So these have been exceptional in the way that they sort of tick the sporty box, but also the practicality box. These are outer boots. You don't wear these inside. Your leathers, obviously, you know, but they are thin enough to fit inside the trouser leg of your textiles. You've also got hard armor on the exterior around the shins, which is nice because you really want to look after those, don't you, to be honest?
They're well padded on the inside too.
And you've got sort of hard armor towards the ankle area as well. You know, really, really high spec boots. You know, they weren't cheap, over £300, I think. So, you know, a serious outlay, but they've been waterproof against showers for a long time. I think they're starting now. So sometimes when it is like biblical rain, easy for me to say, you know, that sometimes they do sort of start to let water creep in now. But besides that, if I hit a shower or anything like that, I have the confidence to know that my feet aren't going to get wet. I've been using these since before COVID.
Back in the old days.
Back in the olden days for commuting. So again, this is another bit of kit that I must have done at least 50,000 miles in. You know, still got plenty of toe slider left. Perhaps I need to try a bit harder. Still got these little plastic shapes here. Yeah, I just think they're excellent. I mean, if you can get these as a used buy, then cracking. But if not, the newer versions of these will probably be a sound buy.
You bought another pair of boots, Dan?
Yes, that's right. So from my practical favourites to my sporting favourites. So these are Gern, not sure how you pronounce the brand, to be quite honest with you, but they're GP1 Evo race boots, and they are exceptional. I've got nothing but good things really to say about these. I've been in a fortunate position to have tested a lot of sports boots, and they're the best I've tried. They fit my foot shape so well that they're, you know, all day comfortable. They're well ventilated. You know, they're not waterproof or anything like that, but on a track they feel light. You know, you don't want to be thinking about what you're wearing, and I never end up thinking about these boots when I'm wearing them. They're so comfortable. I also think they look fantastic. I really like the sort of the fluo and the white and the black, and I like the sort of exoskeleton structure as well. And I really like this fastening system as well with the boa lacing system, like a Knox glove. And they, you know, they also are quite wide when you open them. I'm yet to find a pair of leathers that don't fit in there, which is really, really important. And not only fit, but fit comfortably. You know, there's never been any sort of like pinching or bunching up or anything like that. I just love them to bits, to be quite honest. I know you're always pestering me to try a new kit, and I do get in trouble for wearing these, but they've got so much armor and so much external protection. They're not a boot for sort of like popping out to the shops in or something like that, because they're a bit of a faff to put on. But for the activity of riding in a sporting way, I would 100% recommend them to anybody, genuinely. The only downside I would say is they squeak a lot. I have tried to sort of get rid of the problem in the past with silicone sprays, WD, stuff like that. I've not managed to do it. So if you can put up with the squeaking, then honestly, these are really excellent.
Fantastic.
Okay, so these are my Furigan full ride one-piece leathers. These are without doubt the best that I've tried. I got these in 2020, and it was like a revelation when I put them on. I was like, oh wow, they fit. It was the first time that I'd got some stuff that felt like it was designed for my stature, rather than like, okay, the body and legs fit, and then the arms have got like bingo wings hanging off them. I have done umpteen track days in these, 3 24-hour endurance races. I've done a couple of 12-hour endurance races, a couple of shorter endurance races, loads and loads of press launches. they're like an old friend now. You know, they carry some battle scars, and you know they still look great. They still feel sturdy, and okay, they're a bit dirty these days, but I would happily put these back on and do plenty more riding. I have had about 8 crashes in these. The armor, by the way, is D3O as well, which is another good thing.
Yep.
Obviously, it's soft until it needs to be hard in an impact. And then obviously I wear a chest and back protector to go alongside that.
Right, yeah.
They might look a bit rough and ready. I quite like the scuffing, to be honest. Sort of, I feel like a bit less of a fraud when there's a couple of battle scars. But yeah,
Yeah.
you can see. I mean, sort of that was probably I landed quite hard there, but it's just just the white lettering that's gone. So you've got a big race hump there as well, which helps with aero. And yeah, I mean that's sort of it's much of a muchness really. With sliders, I think they're really nicely made. I like the fact that they're a bit different as well. You know, I have I've got some with my initials on. I've got some with pigs on. I've got some with cats on. I've got some with the Isle of Man flag, and it's just a little personalised touch. They're 20 quid, you know, and they're made in the UK, and it's nice to support small businesses, and like I say, they do the job of being a knee slider really well. So so yeah, if you want a little personal touch on your leathers, then go check them out. Yeah, because there's plenty of choice.
Excellent. Well, Dan, thanks for coming in today and sharing your kit with us.
No problem.
Really hope you enjoyed the chat we've had talking about Dan's favourite sports kit. Don't forget to check out motorcyclenews.com for all the latest news, reviews and advice on everything motorcycle related. Check out the links below this video for the kit that you can still buy. And in the meantime, ride safe out there, and we'll see you for the next episode.